So, good morning everyone. Welcome back to the second video. And today I have Jake joining me. He hasn't... Don't jump on me! He's he is a part of the Kron-Xtreme gang. He has yet to actually put out any videos, which I'm sure you will be at some point, won't you?
Yes, I will.
Yeah, you will be, I'm sure. And we've finally decided on a name. It's going to be the yet to be titled podcast. It's pretty quirky, I think, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, I think it is.
You can shorten it down. YTBT. Yeah. YTBT.
That'll probably just be a slur in a different country.
It probably will be, yeah. Like some sort of text slur.
Mm-hmm.
You may have all noticed the humongous green screen. I've tried all morning to try and figure out how to, get something cool and flashy in the background, but it just ain't gonna work. It won't let me record anything, so green screen it is. And it's been held up with a piece of string. So technically advanced. So we haven't picked a topic. Have you got any ideas?
Not a single clue.
Not a single clue. Right. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to use the interwebs and go for a random word generator. How many words?
5.
5 words. We'll just see what it comes back with. Right. So we've got 5 words. Don't think you can see that. We have economist, word, broken, biscuit, grow.
Bloody hell, you meant to make off the one.
I've got biscuit. I'm taking biscuit out of them 5 words.
What were the other ones instead of biscuit?
Economist. Someone who studies the economy.
Well, yes, I know what it means.
Word. Literally a word generator brought back the word word.
I'll take that.
Which,
it's pretty easy to explain.
Which is broken. Which is another word on there. Let's go with biscuits. Let's start with a nice, easy. It's an introduction to life here. Biscuits. Have you got? What? What?
If you haven't ate a biscuit, you're dead inside.
Yeah, you're just dead inside. Completely. What is your favourite type of biscuit?
Does Jammy Dodgers count?
Jammy Dodgers is a biscuit, yeah. Yeah. A Jammy Dodger. Why?
It's just nice.
Yeah,
it's just nice. Am I not allowed to say it's like?
It's just nice.
Yeah, it's just nice.
Wow, dude, you should be writing slogans. Imagine that, a little jingle on the Jammy Dodgers advert. Do 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 do. It's just nice. Yay! Well done, Jake. Well done. Any other biscuits?
No, not right.
You literally just eat Jammy Dodgers.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I would say lately I've had quite the obsession with Oreos and other biscuits that have creams in the middle. Someone bought, a customer brought me in it wasn't branded Oreo, but it was like cheap knockoffs. But each biscuit had a different flavour in them. So there was like a normal white biscuit, but with banana cream in the middle of it.
So it was just literally random flavors.
It was loads of random flavors. Yeah, yeah.
One of them that could even have poison in them.
It could have been. Yeah, yeah. It was probably like out of date from a second-hand shop or something like that. But
I would date from like 19 something.
I would still eat them though.
Yeah, I know.
I would still eat them. Oh, here's a good one then. Jaffa cake.
I wouldn't count that as a biscuit.
Right, this is where it was going. Jaffa cake, is it a biscuit or is it a cake?
I wouldn't count that as a biscuit. I'd count that as a cake.
So, right. Yeah, well, yeah, it's a Jaffa cake. I would call it a cake as well, but some people think it's a biscuit, and it's sold in the biscuit aisle, which very much confuses me, because it's not. It's like eating
Okay, it's a cake. It's a cake. I've just searched it up. It's a cake.
See, I've just Googled it. It's a cake. But says who?
The interwebs.
Just the interwebs in general, Mr. Interweb. I got a baboop there from Discord. Right, that's you. That's you. What have you sent us? Right, you sent us the article here. McVitie's had been making Jaffa cakes since 1927, but they were challenged for labelling their chocolate orange treats as cakes. In 1991 by Her Majesty's Custom and Excise.
To be bit.
They had to rule Jaffa cakes to be a biscuit, partly covered in chocolate and therefore set to a standard rate. And then you've wrote why. So because it's got it's got chocolate on the top, they have to class it as a biscuit.
Why don't you call it Jaffa biscuit?
Yeah.
That doesn't roll off the tongue.
It doesn't make sense. And then even then, have you ever heard of another biscuit that has jelly in the middle of it?
Yeah.
Because I don't think Jaffa cake's similar. Jaffa cake. Jammy Dodgers are similar, but it's not. That's not jelly. That is actually like a jam, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Jammy Dodger. Yeah. Why? Why or why? And are you a dunker? Do you have hot drinks?
I wouldn't dunk. No.
You don't dunk?
I mean, it depends on the thing.
On the thing?
Yeah, depends what it is.
On the social state of the UK?
Yeah, depends on that.
Is it popular enough to dunk?
I go on to the interwebs to search, is it good to dunk whatever the biscuit is in some milk?
Can I dunk today?
Is it Duncan week?
But is there only certain biscuits that you would dunk?
Yeah.
Like
you
what?
won't have like an Oreo. You wouldn't.
You wouldn't?
That's not a Duncan. That's not a Duncan biscuit.
You honestly, if you have, you don't drink coffee, do you?
I do.
You do. Coffee with a dunked Oreo. Oof. Bang on. You couldn't get better than that.
I'd have the outside, like the crunchy.
The outside.
Yeah, but I wouldn't have the cream into the middle of it.
Why? You put milk in your coffee?
But like, you don't taste the milk, do you?
I suppose not. No. Well, if that's that on biscuits, we're gonna try and generate a new word because
all the other words were corrupt.
That list was crazy. Right, I'm just gonna do one word. Generate word. Pavement.
It keeps me off the streets.
Say no to drugs, kids. Pavement. Comfortable. Could we make anything from the word comfortable? Not really. Proclaim. Suppress. Vegetable. You are a vegetable. Let's have a look. floor. Well, actually, I'll ignore this because this last word that's just come up was tiger, which is useless to everyone.
Yeah.
I was having a think last night about a topic, and because it's coming up to Halloween's, it's spoopy days coming. One, we're going to talk about fears, what you're scared of and stuff like that. And two, have you got any spoopy stories? So, fear. What is your greatest fear in life?
Greatest fear in life.
And I know it's Sunday morning and you've just woke up and you probably haven't got the mental capacity to even think about questions.
I have the mental capacity of a Peppa Pig if it should took drugs.
What do you mean she does take drugs? Nobody can snort that much. Have you got any fears?
Of big crowds, if that.
Big crowds?
Yeah.
For what reason, though? What makes you fearful in a big crowd?
Well, I mean, if there's more than 20 or 15 people, it's bloody huge.
It's bloody huge. I mean, I'm pretty similar. When we went to that anime convention last week.
Yeah.
Fair enough, queuing outside is like totally fine, but then as soon as you get in with them merch stands, that uni was absolutely tiny, wasn't it?
As soon as you start walking up some stairs, you just see Hell's Gate open.
Was that because of the unfortunate costumes?
Mm-hmm.
And you're calling that Hell's Gate?
Mm-hmm.
That's probably a good nickname for it, to be
As
honest.
soon as you pass those, that's first step. It opens. Hell Gate opens.
And you were constantly stuck either behind someone or in front of someone, so you were just like...
Can I stand still, or do I have to move?
Yeah, like you're actually standing looking at stuff to hopefully buy, and people are like, ooh, what's this? Ooh, what's this? And you kind of, well, I don't know about you, but I felt like I had to move out the way. Even though we were in the same position as what they were.
Mm-hmm.
They were trying to look for stuff, we were trying to look for stuff.
It was half the time you needed to kneel down on the stall.
Yeah. It was that last stall that we went to, with the swords.
Mm-hmm.
And I was standing, I had to stand like ducked underneath them lanyards that were hanging down from the stall.
I mean, the stall was just tiny in general.
But I stood there for a good 5-10 minutes because instead of me jumping in going, I want that, everyone else was just coming to the front of the queue and saying, oh, I want to have a look at this, I want to have a look at this. And I'm just a polite person. I'll not jump head first into someone's stall and go, give me everything.
How much is that packet of Snickers?
Them anime Snickers. Yeah,
You might want to say that fast instead of...
I am not saying that fast.
No, you just might want to say it fast instead of really slow, because if someone comes back randomly...
Anime Snickers.
And if you take the S off that, yeah, they might hear only that.
Oh, yeah. I've got my window open as well. Anime Knickers is what you're trying to say. Which was what the other problem was with the stairs.
Yeah.
And you got to the top of the stairs and you just looked at us and went, inappropriate. Absolutely loved it.
If I had glasses on, those things would be shattered.
They would have shattered. It was just a disgrace. The whole place was just too small. If you were going to do so, like that Northumbria University, which is where I used to study, has has an actual basketball court in the building next to it. A full-size basketball arena.
Or what they could just do, right, is just like use the outside.
Yeah, that was quite big. I mean, it was raining, and they did put up a tent, like not a tent, like a giant gazebo. So they could have had stuff under there, to be honest. But hey ho, we were there for a couple of hours.
I love how we went from fears to talking about anime.
Well, you were talking about large crowds, and that was the last large crowd I was in. Everyone just going. Notice me, senpai.
Please never say that ever again.
Onita!
But I want to leave the call.
You want to leave the call?
Yeah, I want to leave the call.
My fear, and this might be a complete and utter strain, I don't know where it come from. I have a horrible fear of being stabbed.
I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone is.
Yeah, no, but not to have it as a thought that goes through your head everywhere you walk.
I mean,
That's bad.
it's where we live. Like, possibly everyone could have a knife. In
Like
Northumbria.
Washington.
Yeah.
The whole of Washington. Just everyone has a knife. I don't think it's that bad. It's just, I don't know.
Instead of America with guns, it's just
Yeah.
knives with
It's just as
Karens.
bad, isn't it? It's just as bad. The only thing...
We have statistic. Like, how do you bloody say it? Statistically.
Sadistic.
Yeah. Yeah, statistically, we have more Karens than America. So
And more-
those Karens could be have knives.
And more of them trained in hand-to-hand combat. No, it's just a weird thing. Like, I think obviously it would be one of the worst ways to go, wouldn't it?
No, I'd say drowning.
One of the worst ways. Top 5 worst ways to go.
I'd say that's a 6, though. No, I'd say
A
that's
6?
yeah.
A 6? What? Well, what would... So you would think drowning would be the worst?
No, cancer would. Because it's of just dying of like 2 or 1 year.
Yeah. I mean, that would be horrible, but do you not think with stuff like that, it sort of...
But I mean, if you can't like...
It gives you time to sort of process that you're dying, rather
But
than...
I mean, if you're talking about I'm gonna die in like 5 or 10 minutes, yeah, I'd say about stabbing.
It would just be horrible.
Mm.
There's times where I've just had, you know, my brain's been absolutely in overdrive. I've probably just drank too many energy drinks and stayed up till 6 o'clock in the morning. But trying to get to sleep, and I've had to sit facing the door in case someone runs in and stabs us in the back.
Yeah, do you have a key?
Yes, and a locked door.
Lock the door.
No, door's locked. But it's just a weird one to think about. That's one fear. Falling off something very, very tall as well.
True.
Like I've done it in a nightmare before, and I've had that gut.
Oh, do you have that like when you're sleeping? You just have that really sudden just fall. You just fall,
Yeah.
and you have to wake up.
And it gives you that, like you're gonna vomit your testicles out your mouth.
Yeah.
Like the actual dropping feeling, like if you're on a roller coaster, it's the same feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Which is totally bizarre because you're not even moving, and that's meant to come. That feeling's meant to be motion. So how that just shows you how bloody crazy your brain is to think like you're falling is enough to make your body feel like it's falling.
And it makes your body shite itself.
It does. It does. So that's it for fears, do you reckon?
I mean, blood is my one.
You scared? You've got a what? like a phobia, a proper phobia.
Like, I wouldn't call it a phobia, but I just generally just, if there's,
Dislike.
if there is blood on me, I will literally maybe pass out.
Really? But then again, I'm a bit different because I grew up like literally nearly every other day with a nosebleed.
But
So
I'm fine with like sick. That doesn't faze me at all.
see, I'm the opposite. I think sick and poop is just no.
I mean, I've got a dog. I grew up to get used to that.
Having to pick up turds.
Mm.
Well, I mean, I wipe Evie's ass, but every time I do it, it doesn't make it any easier. I still have to sit there gagging.
You just slowly putting on like 5 face masks.
Yeah.
I'd rather suffocate than smell that.
Oh, well, yeah. Yeah. Not very nice. Oh, but blood. I'm not bothered with blood. I once at work I was in the kitchen
Mm.
and I was prepping all the
Someone
salad.
ran in and shite on the floor, didn't they?
No. I was prepping salad for the rest of the day. So like salad that you would put in burgers or like a little side salad. So I was cutting cucumbers, tomatoes,
Mm-hmm.
lettuce, stuff like that. And for some stupid reason, I was using a bread knife. So like a serrated knife, like spiky knife.
Yeah, that doesn't cut at all.
Well, that's not really meant for vegetables. I was cutting a cucumber, and I mean I'd been doing it for a few years, so I got to the point where I could do it almost like a chef.
Mm-hmm. You cut yourself, didn't you?
What? No, even worse. Somebody come into the kitchen to talk to us, and I lost my concentration for like literally 2 seconds, and I sliced through the tip of my finger to the point where it was literally just hanging. So like just above your nail. that entire bit was just hanging
Oh,
from
God.
front to back. So it was still attached, just still attached. And I thought it was really weird because I looked at it and it didn't bleed. Well, I didn't
Bone.
I didn't give it too much chance to bleed because it was like a little lid. I kind of just flipped it back on.
It's pretty much bone there.
And then I went to see my manager and she was just like, oh, just stick a plaster on it. So
Just do what schools do and just put an ice pack on it, and then they'll just magically come alive.
there's an ice pack, go eat your lunch. I did that when I had a broken wrist.
They did that when I had a broken arm.
I remember that when you were on the schoolyard, the playgroundy bit.
Mm-hmm.
You had a climbing frame, didn't you, at your school?
Yeah, they had one of those like obstacle courses.
Yeah.
And then I jump off, I slip, and then just smash my hand on a wood piece. It's like, oh, it's fine. I don't know why you're crying. Miss me. Oh, it's broken. You don't tell this.
Mine was, when you do that one-handed sort of jump over a railing,
Oh,
like
yeah.
parkour style.
Mm-hmm.
I've been practicing it all day at school. Like obviously in between my lessons, I went to lessons first. But every time I go from one class to another, I was going outside and we had a railing that was just separating 2 parts of the yard, which I was practicing on.
Mm-hmm.
Because the whole idea was, at the end of the day, there was a railing that had a drop afterwards.
And you're building up to do that.
Yeah, and this drop was like, probably like a story. So like, from an upstairs window to the downstairs.
So he's the one who was afraid of heights. No dropping from heights.
Why, that's a bit different than like falling off a building. So anyway,
He's still falling.
Anyway, everybody got their well, at the time, Sony Ericssons and Motorola Razrs out of their pockets to record this thing. And I ran, did a run up, arm on, jumped, and literally, like, that's the railing. Me toe literally just skipped the railing, which made me fall head first down this drop. And I headbutted the floor. But it wasn't just concrete, it was a fireman's hole, you know, like a drain.
Oh.
A metal drain. So you just heard dong. And I think I put my hands out to stop myself, obviously, because you would. It's a reaction.
Yeah.
So one of my wrists went all the way back, so my fingers touched my forearm. So obviously, yeah, that bloody hurt. But when I stood up, it was just limp. But I could still move my fingers. My fingers were still moving, and that's when
honestly just your way.
I went to the PE teacher, Mr. Mackenzie at the time, and he was like, "Oh well, you can still move your fingers, so you've not broke it. You must have just sprained it."
Okay, can you move your wrist, please? And it just doesn't move.
So. Anyway, he was like, right, stick an ice pack on, go have your lunch. So I'm sitting there eating a sandwich with one hand, which you don't really use two hands to eat a sandwich anyway. Don't know why I said that.
If it's like, like a panini or something.
If it's a panini, yeah. But I was eating a sandwich with one hand, and I was like, this still isn't right. So I went to the science teacher who did biology, so he knew about human bodies and stuff. Normally he was the one that got the textbook out.
Why didn't I go to a science teacher? I know it was in primary though, so like no one knew biology.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, mine was secondary school. And he was like, "Oh yeah, that's broken." Like instantly, he was like, "Yeah, that's broken." I was like, "Right, okay."
Can I sue the school now?
So they rang me mum. My mum picked us up. We went straight back to mine. Well, at my mum's house. And she was like, "Right, I'm gonna ring the hospital. You just wait there." And the first thing I did was switch my original Xbox on, picked up the controller with both hands because my fingers were still working. So, and I'm sure I was sitting playing Knights of the Old Republic. But with a gimpy wrist. So I kind of have the controller on my leg, but my fingers were still working. So yeah, the X-rayed us, and so I hadn't broke it in the sense that I'd split across the bone.
Or it like sprained it.
No, I'd cracked from the top of my wrist going down my arm. So I had a fracture down that way. So they did the whole, well, if it doesn't get better in 6 weeks, like, so they put cast on it and stuff. If it doesn't heal itself in 6 weeks, then we're going to have to put pins in. And what they didn't tell us at the time is they tell you stuff like that because it apparently some weird psychological thing triggers your body into healing faster or better. So it's like a mind trick to make your body kick in.
Did they say pins?
Yeah, so they would have had to...
Like, actual, like, one of those school pins.
No, man. You daft git. They would have had to put a plate in my wrist. And screw the two fractures back together. They would have...
So you would have just
I would have had a
very strong fist.
Yeah, well, I would have had a metal plate on my arm. That's about it.
Yeah, I was just on the interwebs and I seen DC League of Super Pets.
What?
DC League of Super Pets. So it's like Superman, but he's a dog.
Uh-huh. Do you know what it is? Do you know what we're going to do?
What?
This video is now at 30 minutes, which is the same as the last video. We are going to stop. Because it seems like we have actually got a load to talk about if we want to.
Yeah.
So we're going to save this for the next video.
Mm.
So everyone, hope you enjoyed this second video. Yet to be titled podcast. We'll be back next time. It's going to be Jake or Dan. I'm not sure. But we'll have some more topics for you next time. Say bye.
Bye. I mean, I was gonna say it either way.
Oh, Jesus. Bye.